In this recording, we are going to discuss number 14 of the Statistics 1 Math 1 to 2 Unit 6, Assignment 6, number 14. It says if X approximates a normal distribution with a mean of 150 and a variance of 22 squared, find the probability that X is greater than 161.2 and less than 186.2. That's part A. And part B, the probability that X is greater than 198.4. So let's deal with part A. Part A is what we normally call an in-between, meaning the probability that X is between 161.2 and 186.2. Now, if you notice that both 161.2 and 186.2 are greater than 150, so I normally call this right in between. So the shaded region will be to the right of 150. Okay. So our final answer will be less than 0.5 because half of the curve is 0.5. The area of half of the curve is 0.5. And we trying to find a section in that right half, which will be smaller than 0.5. So let's get a similar situation to this. And in between, that is to the right of the mean value. So here is an example of a situation where the shaded region is, the entire shaded region is to the right of the mean value. So after we standardize twice, we've got to standardize twice, both for 161 and 186. We are going to get two positive z's, but 161 is greater than 150. 161 minus 150 is a positive number. 186 minus 150 is another positive number. So both of these will be to the right of 150, positive z's. And how do we find the area of such a region? As you can see, we find phi of 1.6, that's from 1.6 down towards the left. We find phi of 0.6 from 0.6 down towards the left. They are both of big chunks, meaning their final answer will be greater than 0.5 because the probability that z is less than 1.6 is from 1.6 go right down, crossing the midway line, and some more. So here we get 0.9450, and probably that z is less than 0.6. That's supposed to be less than, is a 0.7. So it's a smaller chunk. It's a smaller big chunk. Okay, smaller meaning big chunk meaning more than 0.5 was a smaller one, which is 0.72575. And we subtract the two to get 0.21945, less than 0.5 as anticipated. So therefore, no, this will be a similar case to number 14 part A. And number 14 part B now, we're trying to find the probability that X is greater than 198, but 198 is more than 150. Okay, so we're trying to find the probability of a right tail, because when we standardize 198 minus 150, we go to get a positive value. Okay, and we are going to be towards the right of 150, and we still want a shaded region towards the right again. That's a right tail. So let's find a situation of a right tail. Let's go higher up. Right, so in a situation like this, a positive z and towards the right of it. So we must standardize, and after we standardize, meaning we subtract 198.4 by 150 and divide by 22, and we put our standardized value below. To find such a region, we find the phi of the positive z, for example, the phi of 1.6, and subtract it from 1 to get the tail. Anytime you want to find a tail, you've got to subtract from the phi of the positive z. subtract from the big, find the big chunk and subtract it from 1. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for an example similar to number 14, part B. It's a right thing. So you find phi of the positive z, which should give us a big chunk, subtract from 1, and that should give us our answer for number 14, part B.